Hi, I'm Shirley Conner, the academic coordinator here at Austin Peay for the Veterans Upward Bound program. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to find extra money for school in the way of scholarships or grants. Let me explain the difference between the two. Grants are money you do not have to pay back. They're awarded on the basis of financial need, and they're usually calculated by using the form such as a FAFSA. So I want to say this first, please, even if you do not feel that you would be eligible for FAFSA or Pell, it's the same thing, I use the terms interchangeably, fill one out every year. New FAFSAs come out October the 1st of each year. Scholarships, also you do not have to pay back scholarships. The money that you can receive that is usually based on your academic merit. It could be based off of skill and what you might consider unique characteristics such as your ethnic group or gender, etc. Now I want to give you some helpful hints on how to look for this free money. First of all, be ready to work. When applying for grants and scholarships, it's not easy. Many of them may require for you to receive or you to obtain recommendations, additional documents, or even maybe a short essay. So be ready to work when you start your pursuit and looking for scholarships or grants. Read and reread the eligibility. Personally, that's the first thing I would tell a student to look for. Go straight to the eligibility just to determine if you're eligible for the scholarship. If not, move on. Go on to the next one. No need in wasting your time if you're not eligible for it. Read the instructions and follow it to the letter. Your instructions will tell you exactly what you need to do. If you go around it, if you don't follow it to the T, it may end up to where your paperwork, your scholarship is trashed, basically. Think ahead. Applications and deadlines are often 6 months to a year, not usually a year, in advance. So, as I said, be ready to work. Look at those scholarships. Determine when is the deadline. Two things you have to be sure to look for. A lot of times they will state that it has to be postmarked by a certain date. For instance, today is September the 30th. If you can get down to the post office and get that application postmarked, if you have to mail it in, if you have to submit it online through the computer, it will also tell you a date and usually a time that it has to be submitted. But if it has to be submitted by mail, it could be postmarked by today. If it states that it needs to be received by September the 30th, it should have been in there yesterday. Don't omit anything on your application. If you complete it halfway and don't complete the whole thing, it'll definitely end up in the trash. You might have written some good stuff with what you have, but if you did not complete the whole application, it will usually be something that they won't even take the time to look at. I usually, as I've said before, I'll reiterate this again, FAFSA is usually the first step. Majority of your grants and scholarships today will ask if you have completed the FAFSA. So whether or not you are eligible for it, you have to complete it because you will get what they determine a student aid report. And a lot of scholarships and grants will use that information on there. When you look for scholarships or grants, I will always say start inner circle. Inner circle basically is what's around you. First of all, your parents or your family members. Talk to your parents. And see if they're a part of any organization, especially, let's say, if you are dependent and your parents are in the military, they may be a part of a sorority or fraternity that may offer scholarships or grants. So start inner circle with what's around you first. Not only with some of those military scholarships, you can look for your parents, but also your grandparents. Some scholarships through the military will say grandkids and great-grandkids. So again, that's coming back and reading the eligibility requirements of those grants and scholarships and the instructions as well. Then look at yourself. Look to see what you are a part of, what organization, affiliation that you might be a part of. It could be perhaps a church. If you're involved with a church, some churches give out scholarships. If you are in a fraternity or sorority, they will also, with some sororities and fraternities, have scholarships or grants you can apply for. Mainly scholarships, though. You might have what they would consider unique characteristics. For instance, gender, race, your ethnic groups. Look for scholarships that may fall in that category for you. Another area, inner circle, is employment. Look in two areas. Your parents may be employed in a job that will grant their dependents, which may be you, scholarships and grants. So ask your parent if where they're working, do they give out scholarships? If you're working yourself, go to your manager or your supervisor to see where you are employed if they give scholarships and grants. Now, they may not offer them at the local level, but continue to check through corporate level. And your manager or your supervisor should have that information on hand, or they'll have a number or email address that you can search further to see if where you are employed provides scholarships. You might have an economic need. For instance, you might be a single parent. I just mentioned today to one of the counselors at Student Support Service that Austin P has a scholarship for single parents. And if that is your situation, apply for it. Also, you could be a survivor of domestic violence. There are scholarships and grants out there for many, many areas of economic need. Next one, medical hardship. And when I speak of medical hardship, not only look at yourself, but again, who's around your inner circle. For instance, a parent may be a cancer survivor. The Susan Coleman has scholarships for cancer recipients. So that might be an area for you to look at. Also, your chosen major, departmental type scholarships. Go to your advisor. And also look on those bulletin boards that you see when you go to your department. They will post scholarships and grants up there. And don't just walk by them and just look at them, read them. But ask your advisor. They may know of scholarships and grants within that department. And also, last but not least, academic merit. That's your grade. Yes, you can be awarded a scholarship for having good grades. So work hard at those, because that's free money. Money you do not have to pay back. There are a few things I want you to keep in mind when you are looking for scholarships and grants. First of all, if you're using a computer, check the validity of the website. All websites are not, as you know by now, are not honest and good websites. So make sure you check that, the validity of that, and always be cautious of that. Do some research. Do some research on the particular scholarship that you may find. Check to see what organization, group, or company is offering that scholarship, so you can be assured that it is a legit scholarship. So don't just apply for anything that's out there, because some things are not as what they seem to be. And the other one I call is keep your money to yourself, meaning that some scholarships that you go on to, they will be asking you to send in money to get a list of scholarships and grants. Don't do that. You're not trying to give them money. You're trying to get money for scholarships, for money. For, free money. So don't ever send in money to receive anything for scholarships and or grants. And protect your personal information. What I mean by that, if it feels like that application is asking too much information of you, it probably is. Get out of it. There are plenty out there. There are many more other scholarships and grants that you can apply for. So if you're uncomfortable with it, you'll probably you're feeling the right feeling about it. And the next thing that I want to say, and this is the saying that I like to use quite a bit, and this is from Alice in Wonderland, and it says, "This is impossible, but the Mad Hatter states, only if you believe it is." So work hard at there's a lot of free money out there. You have to take your time with it, and you have to put time into it. Thank you.